Hello, my name is Jultesai and I would like to draw the attention of foreign embassies and international human rights organizations to the fact that in Kazakhstan, the rights of the indigenous Kazakh people to freely use their native language in their homeland is constantly, blatantly violated. As can be seen from the evidence presented, Kazakhs in Kazakhstan are daily exposed to linguistic discrimination in all spheres of public life, including the state bodies, the prosecutor's office, police, courts, akimats, etc. The Kazakhstani authorities began themselves contribute to the state of affairs since top government officials, including ex-president Nazarbayev and the current president Tokayev, prefer to use Russian instead of Kazakh language in their activities. Thus, Kazakh is a state language only de jure. In fact, it is being replaced by Russian. Without knowing Russian, Kazakhs cannot even find a job in cities as a janitor, and Russian-speaking people without knowledge of Kazakh work even in the government and parliament, and this happens in Kazakhstan, where, according to the constitution, the state language is Kazakh. All this became possible because, as in the USSR, the government of Kazakhstan, being a puppet of the Kremlin, continues the policy of Russification of Kazakhs and persecutes patriots who are resisting the neo-colonial policy of the Russian Federation. Various foundations are actively involved in the persecution of patriots, receiving subsidies and grants from the state. For example, at present, a lawsuit is underway in the case of patriots Margulan Boranbay, Danat Namazbay, and Meyram Kanapya at the suit of the public fund DOM, headed by the Children's Ombudswoman of the Republic of Kazakhstan, Aruzhan Sain. The well-known human rights activist Kuat Akhmetov, who fought against linguistic discrimination of Kazakh, was forced to leave the country due to the persecution of Kazakh authorities at the instigation of Russian politicians. Activist Asylbek from Pavlodar said in his video that because of the conflict over linguistic discrimination in the store, the police insulted, then unlawfully detained him, and a medical sobering station employee stripped and beat him, tied his hands and feet, and threatened to rape him with a stick. While sentencing Speak Russian, police tried to hush up this case, and only the public outcry forced the authorities to initiate a criminal case against the sadist. Judge of the Pavlodar City Court Isenova made an unfair decision in favor of Frey Natalia Nikolaevna, who offended Diaz Kuzairov because of his human rights activities. Defender of Kazakh rights Ruza Bisinbaytege is also prosecuted by police. This is not surprising, because in controversial issues in Kazakhstan, courts most often passed convictions against ethnic Kazakhs, and out of thousands of chauvinists who openly insulted Kazakhs on social networks, discriminated against them on the basis of language, beat and even killed them for racist motives, they were convicted a few. The rest escaped with only a slight fright or remained completely unpunished. Because of the posts on the Facebook social network, Arbidel Public Fund filed a politically motivated lawsuit against me of the following nature. The content of these publications contains calls for the overthrow of the government, expressing the threat of unlawful actions. Information can be influenced the formation of negative public opinion regarding the activities of a political leader, negative attitudes towards the political system in the Republic of Kazakhstan in general. Information about the Arbidel Public Fund. Founders, Public Association Headquarters, JESKO, Shishkanov Anton Vladimirovich, Kazagov Aybek Sharipovich, first head, Uvarova Potenko Natalia Vitalyevna, executive director Askar Kosman. The Russian-Kazakh versions of the claim do not coincide. The Kazakh version says that I criticize the language policy of the authorities, which most likely actually worries the Arbedel Public Fund. But the statement in Russian from the Igov KZ portal does not. This indicates that the main motive behind the prosecution of me by the foundation is not the protection of Nazarbayev's honor and dignity, but my activity to protect the rights of Kazakhs to freely use their native language in their own country. The charter of the Arbedel Public Fund says that it can be subsidized at the expense of the Kazakh state, but its website provides information solely in the official language of the Russian Federation. And it turned out that the cell phone business number of the Arbedel Public Fund Executive Director Askar Kosman is registered in New York, USA. It seems that the patriot Askar Kosman, who does not speak the Kazakh language, permanently resides in America, doing car services, as written in his account, and concurrently prosecuting activists defending the national interests of Kazakhs and dissidents. The journalist Andrei Krishin writes in the article Tarnished Reputation. On October 19, a court session was held in a strange mode, via Zoom and WhatsApp simultaneously, on the civil suit of the Arbedel Foundation against civil activist Ayjan Akisheva from Eremintau about prohibition of actions that violate rights and create a risk of harm in the future. The pen test of human rights defenders in this direction was a statement of claim against a resident of the Akmola region, Amangildi Jahin, and other persons in April this year, filed with the Karasai District Court of the Almaty region. After that, having gained strength, the fund reminded of itself, retaining its corporate style, filing two more lawsuits against Akisheva and earlier against Zhultuzayevov, a resident of Ust-Kamenogorsk. Ultimately, the Court of Appeal satisfied the claim of Arbedel Public Fund against Avangildi Jakin and 8 other defendants, banning their activities and forbidding to criticize the authorities. Thus, it's obvious that the Arbedel Public Fund is persecuting dissidents and national patriots, trying to silence them through the courts and demanding punishment for their political activity, thereby suppressing their civil rights to freedom of conscience, expression and association, guaranteed even by the Constitution of the Republic of Kazakhstan. If the Arbedel Public Fund carries out its repressive activities using state money, the international image of Kazakhstan will be severely damaged as a result of such actions of the supposedly patriotic Kazakhstan organization, where obviously 90% of the employees, including the founder Shishkanov, Chief Executive Officer Uvarova Potenko, and Executive Director Askar Kosman, don't speak the state Kazakh language, and the site provides information only in the official language of the Russian Federation, which interests most likely are promoted by this fund. Perhaps it's for this reason that solely ethnic Kazakhs become the defendants of the Arbedel Public Fund, while the internet is full of videos where citizens of Russian and other origin openly make statements of a chauvinistic and separatist nature, discriminate against Kazakhs on the basis of their language, refusing to provide them with information and services in the Kazakh, but the fund prefers not to notice this. I am not a supporter of the political opponent of ex-president Nazarbayev, Mukhtar Ablazov, as was said by Abedel's advocate. Moreover, I am categorically against his coming to power of Kazakhstan, but I believe citizens should be able to exercise their rights to freedom of conscience and expression of their opinions at peaceful meetings prescribed in the Articles 12, 20, 22, 32 of the Constitution of the Republic of Kazakhstan. On the 11th of October 2021, Judge Lunara Muratxankızı, on the basis of paragraph 1 of the Article 277 of the Civil Procedural Code of the Republic of Kazakhstan, ruled to terminate the proceedings due to the fact that it's not subject to civil proceedings, and rejected the claim of the Abeda Public Fund. But on the 19th of November 2021, the fund filed an appeal, and the court ruled to the favor of Abedel, and the new proceedings should start. In connection with the above described situation, I think diplomatic missions of democratic countries and international human rights organizations should pay attention to the violation of the rights of Kazakhs in Kazakhstan, when they cannot exercise their natural right to freely use their native language in their homeland, and activists fighting against their discrimination are persecuted by the Kazakhstani authorities and organizations affiliated with them. Thank you for your attention.